Good morning, Punit. Can you hear us? Good morning, Punit. I think you can use your mic and share now. I've made you the presenter. Could you try once sharing your screen? for developers and no code future of design and tech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Uh, so I think you guys already know who I am based on what I was introduced by, and I'll just quickly share my link without wasting time. I think this will. Sure. All right. Hopefully my screen is visible now. Um, I think it's still loading. I think now it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. Okay, so today we're going to talk about two very special topics, and we're going to go through each one of them. I'm also probably going to give you guys a little bit of a hands-on uh, short tutorial, so as to say, to kind of get you introduced to both UX as well as to no code, which of course you guys being developers will have much more interest in general. But I believe both of these will be interesting to all of you. So moving forward, I just want to quickly give you an introduction of what UI UX is for all those who don't know. Um, Basically, these are the two core principles or the two core parts of customer experience. When we talk about a customer having a good experience, in today's time, when people are ordering food online, they're communicating online, there's so many different factors to customer experience than just things like marketing or sales or customer experience in the sense of when you call the call center. That's all part of that one whole, which is customer. Now, UI, people get confused about what UI and UX is and how it's different. I just want you guys to understand. So the only difference between UX and UI is UX is what the logic that goes behind creating the UI. So it's basically supporting, both of these are supporting each other. Now in the modern day era, the difference is that UI is now a part of UX. So if you look at a UX designer, he should know how to design user interfaces as well. Moving forward, okay. So I want to talk about this is because a lot of developers in the past 1 year only have been moving into the space of design as well. And this has happened with both my design school. A lot of developers have started to join my design school to learn UX and UI. The reason being, UX design has basically shaped in every product that you've seen. Now, UX design first, very first computers, where companies like Xerox were like large manufacturers for uh, not only printing devices but actual user interface devices could communicate with a computer well. So it dates back to the, but I'll quickly show you what I mean by how UX design invented. UX design initially was the term UX design was in Apple. When Apple hired someone and named that person a user experience architect. Across the timeline, nobody really talks a lot about this because the person who was introduced to the company during that time is now the father of UX. And his name is Donald Norman, or in short, we call him Don Norman. He was the inventor of user experience design. Before that, user experience design existed, but it never had a term for it, a meaning to it. So he basically defined how people interact with a product is how the user experience works. If the user experience is great, people will have a great experience in interacting with the product. It could be both physical, it could be manual in the days when there was things like printing and stuff like that. It could be today when we see everything on the computer or on our phones. Now, what I truly believe in today's time is designers should know how to code and engineers should know how to design. You could be a web designer, you could literally be into AR, VR development, and you should, in every field of development, know how to design. And that's the same way the other way. I started off with web development and then I moved on to UX and UI because I realized that is something that I like more than just coding all the time. So how do we bridge the gap easily between designer and a developer? Developers already know frameworks. If you're a web developer, you know what Bootstrap is. You can pick up design elements from Bootstrap, put it onto your website, and you're done with it. Similar way, UI and UX designers have this little shortcut we like to put into a lot of our projects. It's called UI kits. I'm kind of trying to go through these. I will quickly show you what a UI kit is and how to utilize it, real quick. So basically, this is a UI kit that I've pulled up. It's a free community-based UI kit. Everything that you see is pre-made. Nothing that you will have to use will be, be from a developer's point of view. You might not know how to function a tool like Figma, or you might not know how to design an element like this. But UI kits make it super simple. Drag, drop, everything. So I'll quickly show you how you can create use this UI kit. So each UI kit has elements like keyboards, which are just basic UI elements for different devices. Then you have input fields. Then you have various cards, buttons, everything. And all this is something that if you're, say, an Android developer, you would see in Android Studio. You would see a lot of these basic elements like buttons, input fields, already designed for you. But when it comes to actually designing a unique product, picking up a material design for, say, is not the final option. You will have to edit it many times before you, and often developers get instructions from designers. But if a developer knows how to design, he'll make his own changes. He'll be able to put his own input into it, and he'll be able to make overall a better experience. So UI kits are plenty. If you search on Google, UI kit, material design UI kit, whatever you like, you'll find a million UI kits for different tools. So coming back to where we were earlier, yes, UI kit. So easily allows you to know what UI design is without even, it's like coding without coding. You're designing without knowing how to design. And that is how simple it is in today's time. Now, moving on to the topic in hand that I wanted to focus on more, because UI kits are cool and all, but the actual bridging between code and design in today's time is being done by a large community which calls itself no code. And this now has been coined into like a proper technical term. What it means is, I'm sure developers have already heard about this, but what it means to a designer like me is it helps people or companies or organizations go from a concept that they have on a paper or on their computer, just design something basic, into an actual product. And that is the fight that companies have. The most time it takes in a company to release a product is because there was a lot of gap between design and development. Product knows what the product is supposed to be. Management knows how to push it forward. Marketing knows how to market it. All that is ready, but what needs to be ready is a good communication between design and development, and no code helps to bridge that. Basically, you have no coding experience, you still want to design a website or develop an application, native, Android, Swift, whatever you like, no code allows you to do that. Now, of course, all this would make sense to everyone, but nobody would allow you to, show you how to implement it, but I'm going to do that today. So, I have a little application that I want to show you. It's a little free application which I have downloaded, and it's available on Google. If you just search on Google, you'll find it. It's called Supernova Studio. Let me just quickly find it. I had it here. Yeah, Supernova Studio. So Supernova Studio allows you to import designs from tools like allows you to convert those designs into actual working prototypes. And when I talk about prototypes, which it means that a designer, if he sits and tries to create a full-fledged application, this won't work as well as it seems. But if a developer is creating, it'll be much easier. So for now, it does support only XD or Sketch, but in the future, hopefully, we're going to see support for Figma. There are many other tools for this uh, as an alternative. But yes, I'm going to show you quickly how this works. So they already have a sample user interface, which you can get started with, see how this works. And I'm also probably going to show you how to add some functionality to this. Now, developers, you already know what all this means. Right now, we're on Swift 4.2. We can always shift. The best part about this is that it's super dynamic. If I click on this little logo here, there's this Apple logo here. If I click on this Apple logo here, I can switch the platform. I can switch to Flutter. I can switch to Android. Or again, I would say that again, Flutter and React Native, there's not way too much difference. But yes, if you want to say create a React Native application, you just do that, and you see instantaneously the code being converted into React Native code. And again, I was never into React Native development or anything like in detail what this code means, but I guess you guys already get it. So how do we first quickly knowing how to code? So if I click on this little sign up login screen, as you can see, there are some functionality which has already been added to this from the application. So since this is a sample, you can see on tap sign up, on tap login. This means this has already been turned into a prototype. We'll quickly kind of check how this prototype works. There's this little play button which I can activate, and it automatically opens an emulator for us. Again, this is not a full-fledged emulator. It's more showing inside a screen than an emulator, but yes, it does have all the functionality which is required. Now, if I click on login, it takes me to a login screen, and it allows me, again, you can see that I could add input. Yes, I can. All this inside a tool which is no code. You could add this in minutes, and I'll show you how to do that. Quickly, I'll just write a random password, and I'll just click on login. Again, login doesn't have a functionality. It isn't able to see whether that is correct or not, the password is correct or the email is correct right now. But that is, again, this is just bridging the gap. But you can see everything is placed here. I can navigate to different screens, and all thanks to this tool right here. Everything has been done with this tool itself. So there's no external tool. There's no external resources being used. Now, if I go back to the code, I'll show you how to quickly set up your own animations, interactions, stuff like that. Now, for example, this little icon, it animates, it's great. But what if I could do something on pressing it? Just for the sake of it, I'll show you in a quick example. If I right click, I get this option called convert to component. Literally, you can convert this little icon into anything. You can convert it into a button. So on pressing it, something will happen. You can create a text input with this. Not sure why I would do that. But again, there are other things. You can add a web view, a map view. Again, something that you could add as a developer into an application, of course, with Google Maps or whatever API you use. You can turn it into a search bar, segmented control, slider, switch. So there are a lot of these cool, functionalities you can add on top of your user interface right here. So for now, I'll just convert it into a button to show you quickly. And instantaneously, it converts into a button, and it shows you the code for this particular button. So this is, since we saw earlier, this is animated. So there's an animation which has been added. And if I want to add any functionality, I'll quickly just shift the screen here. If I want to add any functionality, how I'll do that? On the right, if I have converted this into a button, if I go to the bottom, there are two very unique buttons here, trigger animation as well as interaction. Now, of course, trigger animation means when you click on this, an animation takes place, or if the app loads, an animation takes place. But in this case, we want an interaction to take place. So we can always say, open a URL, show action sheet, show alert, navigate back, navigate to a screen. Again, the functionality that you can add is somewhat limited to depending on the kind of field it is. So if it's an input field, you can add certain properties to it or certain functionality to it. If it's a button, you can add certain functionality to it. So for now, we can always go ahead and say, navigate to screen, and it should just navigate to our login screen. Again, this is random. You can always add something like URL to open, and you can add the URL here, which is, I'll just say google.com for now. Again, I'm not sure how this will open up, because depending on the language that you're using here, it could be written in Swift, it could be written for React Native. But if we try this out, we play this real quick, and I'll try to reset this. You can always go back from here real quick. This animation stays intact even though this is a button. And if I click on this, okay, so it's using an external browser. But if you had added a web view to it, you could have easily made this into an app which opens a website real quick inside the app itself. So if I go back, I can always change it to whatever I like. Now, these are just some basic things that you can do with this. And at the time of, you want to actually, you can even add things like hot reload. Again, developers would know this. So this is basically what we see with Supernova, and this is just one example. There are tons of more examples. I suggest go to a website called No Code. Just search for no code, just like that on Google, and you have nocode.tech. This has multitudes of websites, tools, portals that you can use as a no code developer to convert designs to a app, or to do a lot of other things. AR, VR. There's something which I really like. Unfortunately, the website is kind of down. If you log in, it shows an error. So yeah, they're under maintenance. But this is something called Voice Flow. If you're into developing Alexa skills, Google skills, for their artificial intelligence, this is perfect. So if you have a product, you want to take it to the next level, and you want to make, say, a interface on Alexa for it. So for example, if you say, hey Alexa, play this song on Spotify, it will open a song on Spotify or the playlist or whatever it is. That is because Spotify has worked on their own Alexa skill. So these tools again require no code. I wish I could show you. They're under maintenance, so I can't show you exactly. But as you can see, everything here is no code. You pick, drag, drop, and these are like modules which you can attach to each other and create actual functionality with it. Again, if you're a developer, it'll be easier to pick up. And of course, you can always import projects from XD. Yes, XD designs as well as XD voice prototypes are allowed here, as well as Figma voice prototypes. You can always create if conditions, you can capture audio, you can literally add your own APIs or third-party APIs onto this. And there are various companies, yes, a lot of these companies use this tool to create Alexa skills as well as Google skills. Easy to learn. It takes like half an hour to learn everything. And if you're a developer, it'll be easier. So now if I go back, that was my little presentation on, my hands-on presentation on doing that. Of course, there is another thing which is game development. We'll be talking about that in the slides as well. But game development has been converted into no code for a while now. There are a lot of indie game developers who are doing this. They don't know how to develop games. They only know how to design game elements. They're designers. So what they do is they use the already existing tools. Fortunately, a tool like Unity, which is widely used by various game developers. Of course, there's a lot of criticism, there's a lot of going back and forth between Unity and Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is more powerful, this, that. But Unity has a lot of good capabilities, especially for no-code developers and designers. As you can see, I just wanted to show you their website. Again, I'm not a game developer, but yes, I can tell you this is easy because I have done prototyping on very advanced level tools for advanced level product, almost production ready prototypes with a tool like this, and it is super simple to learn. Once you get to know what are the various modules, you can do that. Again, if you're say, for example, you're a 3D designer, again, things like animating for 3D also has something like this, so you'll be very familiar with this. There are 2-3 kinds of, I'd call them plugins for the simplicity's sake. These are plugins which you can use inside Unity. There's Playmaker and there's Bolt. There are a lot of tools inside this, as well as if you go down, they have this entire creators kit. So if you want to get into game design, go to YouTube, search for quick Unity no code tutorial, and pick up this creator kit and quickly start designing something. In 10 minutes, you'll have a basic platform scroller kind of game, like the old school Mario, because these are simple to use and you can quickly create variables, loops, everything without knowing what they even mean. Of course, having a basic information of it is always important, but it is much easier now. Now, I'll just quickly close this because now I want to start talking about this topic. Will developers be replaced? What's the future of no code? What's the future for designers and developers? Right now, the market for UX and UI has gone up threefolds. Why I say that? The jobs there were about an average of 5,000 jobs uh, during before COVID. During COVID, once the lockdown was lifted, jobs went up to close to an average of 10,000 jobs for UX UI designers on a given day. Worldwide, yes, but on a given day. India being one industry which is now growing. A lot of other countries already have UX UI designers. In our country, the benefit is you are a new UI UX designer, you will get opportunities. It might take time, but yes, you will get more opportunities than if you were in Canada, US, Europe. Because in India, the UX UI boom has come recently. It's in a bubble phase. The bubble hasn't popped. So I suggest if you're trying to get into design, get into it now. Now, again, the question coming back to the question, will developers be replaced? Never. Because to design or develop no code tools, you require developers. Even for custom websites, I've used no code tools like Webflow. I've used no code tools like Editor X. If you've heard of these, that's great. They require no code unless you want to implement code, and they allow you to create responsive websites from scratch on their platform for free. Now, the difference between a Webflow developer and a developer who's customizing, creating custom websites for people is Webflow has a limitation. Developers don't. You can basically use multiple frameworks. Now, if, for example, Webflow is in rivalry with a certain framework, you know, they could have a personal rivalry or anything. They might never introduce that particular web-based framework to their platform. So again, the alternative is always something like WordPress because it has much more flexibility and a lot of cool plugins. But all these, WordPress has been there in the market for close to a decade now. Web developers are still in demand. No code tools have been there for a year or two. Web developers and developers in general are still in demand. Demand for developers will never decrease, it will only change its position. So, as I stated earlier, game design is hot. Get into it right now. It's going to be a 200 billion, no, I'm wrong there, 400 billion plus dollar market between 2020 and 2024. And that is moving to the next slide is markets to look at in 2020. A lot of you guys are developers, and you're probably thinking, how has the coronavirus affected our future jobs? And a lot of you are college students, so you are, of course, worried about that. Now, the thing is, as I said earlier, markets are shifting, they're not depleting. So in this case, there are three, four, five that are very important. UX UI design being the first one because that is where my expertise stays. UX UI design demand has changed, but it has increased threefold as well. There's a lot of demand in online shopping, online delivery, a lot of demand in online education, things like that. Game development, as I stated earlier, 400 plus billion-dollar market in the next, again, it's speculations, but if there are a lot of market leaders who are saying game development market is going to boom in the next 5 years, and it already has started to boom, this is the right time to get into game dev. Machine learning. Again, you guys already, if you're developers, you know about this. Machine learning is what powers a lot of AI. It powers a lot of tools. Even if it's not upfront AI, there's a lot of machine learning going on, even on tools like YouTube, where they want to recommend the best stuff to you. They want to recommend the best videos to you. They want to curate stuff for you. Spotify. There are a lot of tools which use machine learning at their core, and they're good at it. So machine learning is another place to get in. About 3 to 4 years ago, it started booming, and now I would say there's no stopping it right now. AR, VR. Of recently, during coronavirus, um, a lot of furniture companies like IKEA were pushing an application that allowed you to see furniture in real life. And you know what? I'm going to show it to you. IKEA AR. If you just search for something like IKEA AR, you'll find it instantaneously. Yeah, these are the examples. You can see AR has now become the center for a lot of different markets, be it furniture, be it interior design. Except this also there's a lot of medical AR which is coming up and is already being used in a lot of places, in a lot of hospitals on smaller, on smaller note, but soon it will catch up. So these are the markets I feel you should get into, and you should, start discovering it. A lot of you guys are college students. I was a college student when I started off. I was in school, in fact, when I started off with web dev, and I changed my career since, from web to UX and UI, and it's never been a downfall. It's always been a rise. Why? Because I knew when the market was changing and I got into it. And is you have so many mentors like me and a lot of other people in the market who will tell you what is right, what is wrong. Schools which are teaching you each and every one of these things, Design Wings being one of that. And again, AI, again, a lot of linkage to machine learning, but again, also considered a separate field right now. But these are the 4 5 hot places to get into right now if you want to get into a forward spiral rather than a downfall. Um, Apart from this, this has again, this was my last slide. But apart from this, I want to leave you guys with with some cool resources. I will definitely give a link probably in the Discord, because I have a lot of cool resources that I use. There's Monday.com, which allows you to convert into both Mac as well as iOS applications. It's still in under development, but it works. A lot of other cool tools that you can use, get into. I suggest, if you want to learn UX UI before you get into a school or before you invest, you can check out a lot of YouTube tutorials. I have my own channel. I think you should go check it out if you haven't. Uh, I do a lot of cool stuff with XD. I do a lot of cool stuff with Figma. I just started last year, but there are a lot of cool things. There are a lot of no code applications, and I also have a new segment which is, I think, should be interesting for you all. So I wanted to keep this short because I knew this was something that people are interested in, and again, if something is of interest, it can be short as well. So this was my presentation, guys. I think I'll open now because I have some time. I think I'd like to open now to a few questions so that everyone gets help in different areas, UX, UI, game dev, whatever they like. Guys, Dheeraj, I think they've left or they're backseating.
I think everyone can ask questions in the chat box. So please, guys, type in some questions in the chat box if you have to ask any.
So I think I'll take a look at the chat box then.
Yes, Punit, yeah.
Yep. I think we'll just wait for another minute just to see if somebody's asking any questions. If somebody, guys, you need to be on your feet. You need to ask questions. I know there's a lot of speculation against UX UI for in the minds of developers. You can always ask anything. Yeah. Okay. So okay, now they started to pop up all of a sudden. Okay. How would you ask a beginner to start off with designing now, providing the current market? Okay, so 5 years, okay, 7 years back when I started with UX and UI, it was a total different marketplace. And at that time, the hottest thing to do was get into design through self-learning. That is what I did, is by teaching myself how to design, teaching myself even how to code at that time. Right now, markets just started to move too fast. If you start becoming self-taught now, it'll take you at least 4 to 5 years to get your first solid job. And that is considering the fact that a lot of you guys are maybe in third year college or fourth year college, whatever. You guys need to understand you need to get into the market quick. Because once you do that, then your portfolio is more about your experience, less about what you've learned. So to get into the market fast, I suggest get into a design school. Like again, that is why I created Design Wings, was to provide the most affordable education, the most affordable education in India for designers. Right now, there are schools which are charging 60, 70,000. Go, I mean, if you can afford it, go for it. But if you can't afford that, we at Design Wings are doing a batch for 27,500 with no cost EMI for all of you all. And that includes everything. So in 1,500 bucks a month, you can get design education, which was unthought of earlier. And we have people from Flipkart, OLX, Oracle, designers, proper senior designers who are teaching this. So at this point of time, I think you will have to invest money to get into the market. I'm not saying that for my business. If you want to go and join something like Design Board or Imagine XP, you're most welcome. They're expensive, but they teach you good stuff. You can always go there as well. All I'm saying is right now is the time for speed. And to do that, self-learning or being self-taught will not help unless you have some level of exceptional mindset which will change everything in your life. But that is a risk. So it's much riskier now, but it's also somewhat easier now. What are the basic things that I need to be perfect at to get into UX UI? You need to know how to solve problems. If you're a developer, you already know how to do that. All right. Solve problems from and come up with unique solutions. Second is to empathize with the users. You need to understand user experience has user at the core. So you will in the future, if you're into UX, you will have to do a little bit of research, which includes market research, analysis, persona mapping, empathy mapping. A lot of these words might go above your head right now, but once you get into it, it's actually quite simple. You have to create a lot of scenarios. You have to talk to the users one on one, and you have to understand their needs, their wants, and then convert that into what this is. Again, I think K Vijesh has I think raised his hand, so maybe he wants to come on. I'm not sure if you guys are allowing that, but that's okay. Uh, is it necessary to know graphic design with UI UX? No, absolutely not. If you're a graphic designer, you get into UI UX, it's easier because you know colors, you know typography already, so you know UI, some part of UI already. But if you're into UX, graphic design is probably never going to help you out. So if you know graphic design, nothing is going to help you out in that sense. But um, you don't have to know anything about graphic design, illustration, digital art, anything to get into that. How can we do voice prototyping on Figma like XD? So Figma recently, if I am not wrong, has introduced certain voice prototyping features as well. If I'm not wrong, I could be. But the thing is, in Figma, you can use plugins. You can always export your Figma designs into VoiceFlow. So if you need a full-fledged prototype, I suggest just using VoiceFlow. You can always import from Figma into VoiceFlow, and then you can work on, okay, how does this UI work? How will the voice prototyping work side by side? You know, how long does it take to build LinkedIn kind of UI? Nothing. Raghav Joshi, there are UI kits you can pick up, and it takes like 5 minutes to set up your own design over it. But again, LinkedIn kind of UI, I think what your question is, if a application or a program or a software or a website is at scale, if it needs to work on a scale level, like LinkedIn has various scenarios, edge cases, it grows every day, new features, everything. So in that case, you would require months to do that. When I was working with Magic Bricks, we were introducing a new sort of blog for real estate agents and real estate developers to bring in their thoughts, their mindsets onto a position where they could just write out things like Medium, like Medium. So that project took us about 2 months to complete from the design perspective. And that was just a blog, mind you. So for something like LinkedIn, it could take 6 months to build the product. Out of that, maybe 4 months takes to design everything, including product design as well as UX and UI design. Just the front end part of it will take about a month or two. So that is how long, designers have to work on a single project. But it's often fun because everything is different. Um, Path to data science, should I go through first machine learning or the other way around, data science and then machine learning? I want to do both, but I want in systematic manner, need some help. Okay, so question is quite clear, Vivek. Data science, again, is something which is, again, data science you will use when you're inside machine learning. When you're doing machine learning or AI, you will have to use data science. You will have to have a good solid base of data science. So I'd suggest first study data science, then get into machine learning. Again, everything is possible. You can learn machine learning and side by side do data science. That's always a possibility. But if you have time, if you are in college or whatever you are, you can always pick up some free courses, some paid courses that you can do in data science and then go to machine learning. It'll be easier. It's like it's like going into UX UI design without having any design knowledge. Even your fundamentals are not clear then. So data science helps you build that solid base. Then you can go into AI and machine learning. It'll give you always like a bump. So I suggest if you have time, do both of them. I did a lot of stuff simultaneously, so I can say you can do it. It's possible. Um, I cannot imagine designing websites or phone applications without code. How can you convince me that no code technology can build a powerful design? Okay, it's as simple as that. I'll show you. I'll quickly, I'll just quickly share my screen again. It's so good that you guys are asking such interesting questions. I'm quickly going to share my screen again. I think we have 15 more minutes, so we can go through it. Guys, let me know if there is any time constraint. We can just cut it short. There's no issues. I'll go to Webflow. It's as easy as that. Webflow is free if you're using it just to design, not to publish. I have published websites through Webflow, so I know it's easy. I'll tell you why it's easy. Because I'm forgetting who asked this question. Okay, so Luai asked this question. I'm not sure if that is your actual name. Otherwise, I'll have some difficulty. But if I go back to Firefox, I'll quickly sign in with my Google account, whatever it is. Of course, you guys can't see my password, so that's okay. And Webflow is so simple. It takes 5 minutes to create a website. You can pick up a template, you can push it there, and it's done. So no-code tools, a lot of tools you think are just for design or for development are already no-code tools because they have no-code aspect to it. Again, no-code, again, guys, I want you to understand this is a newer term. This is not something that you can just pick up. So I built this quick, design here just to experiment with what Webflow can do. This was just like an experimental thing that I did earlier. I think I tried to do this last year, so I was, and again, I'm a web designer, so it is easier for me. But if you're not a web designer, you can still learn through a few 4-5 tutorials. I think that's all it takes. So Webflow, let it load. I think it's having some issues loading. But I want to convince you because it is now possible. Webflow, you just pick up modules and that's your code as well as your design. Best part is it is also, everything is set to be responsive. Webflow also has a lot of tools and features which allows you to customize your designs as well as your code. Again, for some reason it's not working or opening properly right now, but if it did, I could show you live how it works. Okay. So we'll just move on to the next question. Maybe we'll come back to this later on. But I think you need to convince yourself. Why? You need to convince yourself by actually trying it out. If you try it out, you'll figure it out that it's okay. Is this something for me or not? I think it's very subjective. Can we create AR apps without code? You can produce AR apps without code. What I mean by that is, I did a tutorial on YouTube. I'll share a link later on where I used a tool. It's a web-based tool, very much like Figma and XD, which allows you to basically import 3D models, import even UI elements, and then put functionality onto that. How that helps you is it might not be completely customizable. Everything might not be as easy to do with, say, a studio tool for maybe if you're creating an AR game with Unity. Of course, that is totally different. But with this tool, I'll share all the links again. As I said, the resources. You can absolutely, um, till a point, make a basic AR app without any code. Um, Again, there are a lot of questions. Okay, so Raghav is asking a very interesting question. Punit, if it takes 5 minutes to build LinkedIn kind of UI by importing from some UI kits, how is the front end developer future? Is it good? Okay, you're again, like a lot of people have this question of, is my future intact? Will I have to change my career later on? This is actually quite funny because, again, guys, I want you to understand there are tools which can, AI tools which can make a website if you just put in your requirements. There are AI tools which can design an interface for you without even touching the mouse. You can just type in some stuff on the keyboard. For example, if I type a rectangle with image on it, it will create a rectangle with image on it with a proper design. So it could take a few seconds to do that. 5 minutes is, I'm talking on the high end. Front end developers need to start shifting. They need to start shifting into also doing things like Webflow, WordPress, even get into React Native. Because by the time you're out of college, by the time you're whatever you're doing, you will have lost the train already. There's always going to be a demand for web designers and developers. But is it going to be as lucrative? No. It will change. The industry will change. You need to change with it. So on the side, get into things which are in the same line as you are doing. So if you learn React development, if you're a web developer, it'll be easier for you to get into React. Because it's not something, because then you don't need to clear your fundamentals, or don't need to start from scratch. It's, again, Flutter, something like Flutter is more or less a framework than anything else. So it's super easy. Can you share the resources here in the chat if possible? Sure. I'll quickly share my channel because whatever I'm talking about, I've probably already covered on my channel. You can always, I would appreciate a subscribe, but you can always click on the search bar, and on my channel, if you open it up on your computer, you'll have a search bar. You can always search AR and you'll get like 4 or 5 videos on it. So I'm quickly going to share that with you guys. And I'd really appreciate a subscribe because I keep on coming up with cool content every Monday and Thursday. I have to plug in. I'm quickly going to share it here. And then later on, don't jump off the chat because we're going to talk about other things. What are some good companies to get into UX skills, or should I just do freelancing? There is a huge debate between whether you should start freelancing or whether you should start a job. It's very subjective, Raghavendra. It's very subjective because in today's environment, freelancing can be very lucrative because a lot of companies have started to employ freelancers and consultants for UI UX since there is a demand. But it depends on you. If you like being your own boss, go for freelancing. Mind you, freelancing will take more time. If you get into a job, you get a fixed salary, it's safe. So if you like those things, go for a job. But if you have time, if you're a college student, you have a year or two, start freelancing now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for to learn other things. I started freelancing when I basically knew just the ABCs of UI UX. I still got projects. I still earned. I remember when I started designing properly, I got my first $1,000 just through my basic portfolio. And if you have a basic portfolio ready, you can earn just like that. So freelancing is great for people who have a portfolio ready and who are willing to spend hours and hours on websites approaching people and getting projects, and also being patient. companies are great. There are a lot of companies who are hiring UI UX designers, a lot of local companies, a lot of grocery companies. There's a lot of education companies like Byju's, White Hat Junior. They're always hiring UI UX designers. Even giants like Google in India are in Bangalore are hiring a lot of UI UX designers at some point of time or at some role. It doesn't have to always be a UX designer. It could be UX researcher or just a visual designer or interaction designer. So you need to understand this, get into this, just study the various fields of UX, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I think that those were some amazing questions that you guys asked me, and I hope I could answer most of them. There are some questions related to machine learning. I do not want to talk too deep on machine learning because me myself, I'm not an industry expert in machine learning. I'd say I'm an industry expert in education right now. So I can always guide you where you should start getting educated. But anything more than that would there could be false statements I make. So I do not want to risk your careers based on half knowledge that I have. So I need to be honest on that. I think everybody needs to be honest on that. And I'm quickly going to share my LinkedIn. I think some people have already followed me there. I see you. But I'll quickly share my LinkedIn as well. So you guys can always reach out to me if you need it. I try to reply to everyone. It takes time sometimes, but I do. And I think that was it. That was it for my presentation. That was it for my talk. I hope all of you enjoyed. I would appreciate a quick thumbs up in the chat if you did. And thank you guys again, REVA Hack, for inviting me. Guys, you still there?
Yes, thank you so much, Punit. It was an amazing session.
Thank you.
I'm sure everyone had fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that it was really amazing, and I think your audience is absolutely amazing. I hope all of you guys have an amazing day, an amazing career ahead, and whatever issues you have with UI UX, if you want to get into it, we are having our batch 4 of Design Wings starting mid-November. If you want to get into that, you're most welcome. And thank you, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, REVA Hack, once again. And I'll see you on LinkedIn or YouTube. Thank you, guys. I think I'll take your leave now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Punit. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Punit.
Hello, guys. Please stay on the meeting. We'll have the next speaker in a while.
Be his topic of the day. He shall be talking about career, niche skills, and the importance of presentation. Over to you, sir.
So much. Thank you, Chirag, for introducing me. So yes, first question that I would like to ask is, do you see any sort of lag from my side on the video or the audio? Like, is it syncing correctly? Because
Yes, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine, Aqib.
okay, thank you so much. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay, you can just let me know if you're able to see my screen. Guys, are you able to see my screen? You can put a simple yes message on the chat box if you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Is it? Okay, great. So guys, my topic for the day will be on career niche skills and importance of presentation. Something not you will find very often on various platforms. It's something different. You will witness that. Okay. So let me start with a question first. Something off the topic. Okay. So if I ask you a question, have you guys eaten apples? What would be your answer? So if you have eaten apple, can you put a simple yes on the chat box? Have you guys eaten apples? That's the question. Okay, I'm getting a couple of yes messages. How many people do I have in the class? So I think it's 50 plus. Okay. So if I ask you one more question, have you guys bought apples? So you guys have eaten apples. All of us have eaten apples. So have you guys bought apples? Say from a shop or a roadside cart, whatever it is. Have you guys bought apples? Yes. Okay, I'm getting a couple of yes messages. Okay. Now, if I ask you, say one random day you wake up and you have this urge of eating apples, and you go to a roadside cart, a small cart where there's a person who's selling apples, and he's kept apples on two different sides. Say after 5 minutes of observation, you end up observing that one side of the apples are getting sold really fast, whereas the other side is not. What could be the reason in this case? One side is getting sold really fast, whereas the other side of the apples is not getting sold at all. So what could be the reason? Can you guys just guess? I get very interesting answers when I ask this question to my students. Okay, Karthik says quality, freshness, price. Okay. When you say quality, I was expecting these answers. Quality, yes, that was, when I heard this question for the first time, I replied back saying it could be quality. Say those apples are from the same tree. Apples on both the sides are from the same tree. Same color, same price, same size, pretty much everything is same. Very good. I got the answer from Shri Shel Santosh. Presentation. How do you present those apples? See, one side of the apples was presented very well, whereas the other side was not. Okay, so I want to talk about presentation, the importance of presentation. I have seen a lot of programmers, I've seen a lot of coders who are excellent at whatever they do. But when it comes to presentation, that is something that they lack. And this is one of the issues that nobody tries to address on, because people think if you are a coder, say if you are a programmer, if you are good at that particular thing, it's more than enough. I learned it the hard way. When I was in my second year of engineering, maybe, I had my super seniors, probably from fourth year of engineering, who were attending interviews. And these people have seen they had come up with great, big Android applications back then, and those applications were on Play Store, and they were iOS applications. They were building a very good web application. All of that was happening, but these people were not getting placed. That is when it struck me, and I was like, why are these people not getting placed at the first place? Right? So I got to speak to one of my super seniors back then, and that particular person told me, I asked that particular person what happened in the technical interview. Why could you not clear the technical interview? So she said, Aqib, I was out in the GD round, and then there was one more person who said I was out in a case study round, because that is where they have to present. They will have to go in front of people and talk, right? So that is where they were out. And this is one of the reasons that I want to talk about, and that is when I understood the importance of presentation. Okay, I'm not going to be a soft skill trainer today. I'm going to be talking about few of the things that I have learned the very hard way. Okay, I'm going to be with you guys for the next 40 odd minutes in order to share my experience, in order to suggest you something, in order to advise you something on whatever I have learned the hard way. Okay, so yes, so let's start with importance of presentation. Just put a simple yes message if we can proceed from your. Just put a simple yes. I love interacting with students. I love interaction with students. So pretty often I'll be asking you questions here and there. I want you guys to put yes messages. Okay, great, great. So, how do I improve? See, I have a very limited time, so I'm going to be talking about few things about presentation. First of all, um, okay, how do I improve? Let's talk about this one. I will talk to you, I will tell it to you while I'm explaining all this. First thing is you got to learn it the hard way. When I say learn it the hard way, don't miss any opportunity while you are in college. You know, whenever you get a chance to go in front of people and talk, please utilize that. I was one of those kind of students who never wanted spotlight on me when I was in college until my second year or third year of engineering. I was basically that kind of a guy. I still remember one day when my mentor came to me and said, Aqib, why don't you conduct a Python programming session for your juniors? And since he's a mentor of mine, I couldn't refuse him. I didn't want to tell him no. So what I told him was, okay, fine, let me try doing this. Until then, I had never imagined myself as a public speaker. I never imagined myself going in front of people and talking and presenting. Okay, so that was my mindset back then. Very next day, there were like some 20 people, very few, 20 people, 20 juniors of mine, sitting in front of me. There were like 20 pair of eyeballs on me, staring. They were basically looking at me. And the very first words, like first few words that I spoke sounded gibberish. So that is how I was. And today, whenever I come in front of people and talk, in fact, today, right now, every day when I come in front of people and talk and teach them something, I'm excited. So that's the transformation that I have had over the couple of years. And this is happening because I'm learning it the hard way. Because hard way is go and actually do it. Okay, so please do not miss any opportunity, whatever comes in your way when it comes to presentation. Utilize as much as possible. Second thing is talk to yourself. When I say talk to yourself, go stand in front of the mirror and talk. I know it might sound a little filmy, it might sound a little crazy. You have seen that happening in the movies. I never used to believe in that. I thought all that is happening in the movies only. But trust me, that helps. In fact, just before this session, I was talking to myself in front of the mirror. I was just rehearsing what can I talk about? How can I convey my message? That actually helps. So it's not filmy, it's not as crazy as it sounds. So please try doing that. Talk to yourself in front of the mirror. Just lock your door and try doing that. It's going to take you to places. Attend other presentations. It could be me, it could be you, it could be the best public speaker in the world, the best presenter in the world. Anybody can make mistakes. And learning is something that we need to keep in mind. How do we learn from those mistakes? One of the things that I usually follow is I try to follow other presenters who are already, ahead of us. Try attending their presentations. Very, very important. Okay, and at the end, yes, practice. Practice as much as possible. Again, very, very important. Okay, so once you work on these skills, let me tell you what do you get in return. Okay, benefits of having a good presentation skill or say good public speaking skill. You're gonna get very confident. I can talk about one story over here. There was this UAE company, uh, just like how we have Ola and Uber, but not of that big scale. But there was one company, a startup company from UAE. I don't remember the country, but one of the countries from UAE. So they had come to one of the Bangalore's engineering college. This happened in the year 2017, and they were looking for young minds because one of their co-founders was from Bangalore. That's why they had come back to Bangalore to one of the engineering colleges in 2017, and they wanted some innovative idea. They wanted some innovative idea in their company. So what they did was they just told students, we will be giving you 10 days. Try try coming up with whatever possible. Okay, anything innovative. So because if it's very innovative, we will hire you directly. There was some sort of deal that was there between the company and these students. So they're like four teams, one team consisting of four people. And I was not part of the team, but I was associated to that somehow. And I got to witness the entire event. So after 10 days, I was in touch with all four teams. Three teams had come up with a prototype, a very simple prototype. One team with some sort of GPS functionality, one team with all the automation of how the money flows between various teams in this entire journey. So automation of that, and one more team with something else. And there was one more team who did not come up with a prototype. And I was like, what? I mean, why is this team not working? They were given 10 days. They would have come up with a prototype. So I was like, okay, these people are definitely out. So winner's gonna be anyone from the first three teams. But then I mean I couldn't see what was the conversation happening between these teams and the UAE company. The results were the fourth team who did not have a prototype actually won. And that is when I got to know that these people had a presentation. Whereas the very first three teams, they had a prototype and not the presentation. Whereas the fourth team, they had only the presentation. They did not have anything else. So do you see the power of presentation? And they were able to convey. I mean, this is the second one. You will sound convincing. You can convey your message if you have good presentation skills. Say I have to hire one AI engineer, and say there's one AI engineer who's too good with AI skills, but say he's not good with presentation skills. On the other side, I have an average guy with AI skills and good amount of presentation skills. I would always go for a latter one because once you step into the industries, you will have to present to your colleagues, you will have to present to your managers, you will have to present to your clients, to your stakeholders. That will happen. So I know you guys sitting in this hackathon, all of you are excellent programmers, excellent coders, but try improving your present. I'm sure a lot of you will be good at presentation skills as well, but then this is something that you guys need to focus on as well. And also it improves your leadership skills. I'm not going to be talking about that right now. This is something very, very important. I did not understand the importance of leadership skills back then in college. But then trust me, once you are in the company, once you want to grow vertically in the company, you need to have those skills, and good presentation skills will add up. Okay, so yes, this is what I wanted to talk about when it comes to presentation. Now, coming to this topic called as niche. Okay. By the way, that was me in one of the interview. My first interview, my very first interview in my technical round, one of the manager from that company asked me, "What is your niche?" And I was like, "What is my what?" Because that was the very first time I heard this term called niche. I'll be honest with you guys, I did not know what is niche. And back in my head, I was like, okay, maybe NISH. Okay, it could mean my hobbies. Okay, it could mean something else. I did not know what is niche. Guys, can you put a simple message saying what is niche? Not what is your niche skill. What is niche? What is niche according to you? Can you try putting a simple message? What is niche? In fact, for that matter, the pronunciation in American English you call it as niche, whereas in British English you call it as niche. Nobody's aware of it? What is niche, guys? You can try Googling, it's fine. Niche skill. Okay. So niche is specialization. In simple terms, if I have to talk about, it's your specialization. Designation, no, 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 no. So niche means your specialization. Okay, what are you specialized in? Okay, I am going to be talking about this a lot. because I feel for college students this is extremely important. So let me just take you over here. Guys, who's this? Who's this guy? And what do you think is his niche? What is his specialization? If you guys know who is he. I was a fan of this guy when I was a teenager probably. A subject that you're comfortable with. Yes, that is nice. That's a nice answer. Who's this guy, guys? Samuel is giving me the correct answer. Rob. Mad, correct. Art and crafts. Yes. Rob from Pogo. Mad, correct. So you guys are answering now. So this guy is Rob. I was a big fan of this guy because I used to love everything that he used to create on the channel, right? So this guy is Rob. What's his niche? His art. The skill art. That's his niche. He's specialized into that, and he's very good at that, right? Okay. Similarly, let me ask you this: who's this guy and what is his niche? Who's this guy? I am pretty sure all of us are aware of him. Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is the series, by the way. His name is Rob Atkinson. I remember his second name. I forgot his first name. So yes, Bean. He is called with his name Bean. What's his niche, guys? What's his niche? Comedy. A very different sort of comedy. He was not a stand-up comedian, right? So he has a different form of comedy which he was specialized in, right? So what I'm going to be talking about is niche skill is something very, very important, guys. I want to talk about this. Um, how can I put it across? First of all, to gain a skill, in order to acquire a skill, it requires a lot of time. Okay, and trust me, once you step into the industry, you will not have as much as time like how you have it right now while you are in college. I know a couple of students will tell me, sir, we have vivas, we have internals and externals, we are preparing ourselves for our entrance exam for masters in different universities. There's so many different things, but trust me, you will still have time. I've been through that phase. You will still have time. So niche skill is something that you will be requiring throughout your life, right? So college is the right time to start with. Try acquiring that one skill, one specialization of yours. Nobody will dare to come in your boundary. Okay, try acquiring that one niche, which takes me to this particular quote, which says, "Jack of all trades, master of none." You know, a lot of people ask me, I've been asked this question a lot of times, which is students tend to ask this, sir, do I learn a bit of different technologies or do I master one technology? What is your say on that? So is it good to be jack of all trades or is it good to be say master of one? What is your say on that? What would you choose as a student? Will you try learning master of one is what Samuel says. Okay. Master of one take, master of one first. Okay. Jack of all trades. Karthik said jack of all trades. Okay. There was one student I was interviewing from one of the engineering college in Bangalore. This happened last year, if I'm not wrong. No, 2018, if I'm not wrong. I don't want to take the name of student. I don't want to take the name of the engineering college as well at the same time. This guy had 32 technologies on his resume as a fresher. He's not done any internship for that matter. He's learned 30, I mean, he's put 32 different tech. Even till date, I am not aware of 32 technologies. I've not worked on 32 different technologies. And he claims to be an expert on all these 32 technologies. One simple small suggestion of the topic, when you're preparing resumes, most of you will start preparing resumes and most of you might have already started preparing resumes. Try to put things which you actually know. I've seen a lot of people just just mentioning so many different things to just fill up your resume. I've seen freshers coming up with 4-page resume. I've seen managers and directors coming up with 1 page of resume. So, just put whatever you actually know, because you don't know who your interviewer will actually be. If your interviewer actually knows these things, actually knows these technologies, so you're gonna be questioned on everything of that sort. So yeah, that was one suggestion. Yeah, back to this. This is one of the famous quote which says, "Jack of all trades, master of none." What I would suggest over here is I have tweaked this quote slightly for myself, for my life, and this is something that I usually follow, and I want to suggest you guys the same thing. So, as a college student, what you guys need to do is you need to be jack of all trades and master of one. Somebody told me this like sometime back when I asked, "What do you want to be?" Somebody said both. I don't remember what was the name. Jack of all trades. Try learning a bit of all different technologies. Say front end, part of back end, part of UI UX, whatever it is. Try learning all these things. At the same time, try mastering one skill, which will be your niche, which nobody will try competing you with. Try doing that. Jack of all trades, master of one. Okay. That leads to me. That leads to another question, which is how do I choose my niche? Right? How do I come up with my niche? How do I choose my niche? This, in fact, for this matter, I get this question a lot from my students. Sir, do I have to get into artificial intelligence? Do I have to get into machine learning? Do I have to get into web development? Do I have to get into data engineering, visualization, anything, whatever it is? My question will be, what is your interest? Don't follow the trend, don't follow the hype which is happening right now. What is your interest? Because only if you're interested, you will study that, you will practice that. That's going to become your specialization, that's going to become your niche. So if you kind of get this question, how do I choose my niche, you will be the appropriate person to answer yourself. First, ask yourself, what is your interest, which is very, very important. In fact, for that matter, I have a small exercise. I want you guys to take up your phones, laptops, whatever device possible. Try searching for on-demand skills which are present in 2020 or 2019 for that matter. I'm going to give you 60 seconds starting from 11:20 right now. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. Can you simply put whatever you find on the internet? It could be your, say, from a computer science background or information science, electronics background, whatever it is. Can you try putting the niche skills which are available in the market right now? For instance, artificial intelligence could be one of the field, which is like niche right now. Can you put those messages? I'm going to give you 60 seconds. Let's see who comes up with some unique skill which none of us are aware of. Something of that sort. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. Time starts now. I'll wait for your answers. Blockchain, very good answer. Very good answer. Blockchain, yes. Artificial intelligence, UX design, cloud computing, distributed computing, very good. Something that people usually tend to underestimate, but distributed computing is too good. Blockchain, AI, cloud, UX, business analysis. Okay, very good. Any other answer? Your answers could repeat. So somebody's put blockchain again. You can put the crypto. Again, this is also a very good answer. When people say blockchain, blockchain is a very big field. What is your specialization in that, in blockchain? Say cryptocurrency, you know in and out of cryptocurrency. Crypto is your niche. That is a very good answer. VR, again, excellent answer. Sales, again, it's a very good answer. Sales. You know, if you are into sales, you should be excellent at presenting. I have seen people. There was one student. There's not a student of mine. Sorry, one friend of mine from my 11th and 12th. Not good with grades, not good with marks, nothing of that sort. He got placed in Amazon recently, and recently as in back then 2016, 2017, he got placed in Amazon for a very good position also. And the reason he got placed is just because of his communication skills, just because of his presentation skills, and he was into sales. And he's making very good money right now. Sales is a very good field if you have that kind of communication and presentation skills. Yes, anybody else with different speaking skill? Again, okay, very good. Scientific computing, very good answer. Affiliate marketing, very good again. Graphic design, excellent. Gaming, yes, gaming is something again people tend to underestimate. People like playing games, one, but if you're discussing about game development, not a lot of people try to get into that. Game development is also an amazing field, right? Design, I meant, yes, designing, that is what I was talking about. E-commerce, Angular, Docker, Django, cryptocurrency. Okay. So there are a lot of fields. It took me like 60 seconds in order to get you guys started on searching for new skills. So we have all the facilities. We know how to search. We know how to find out. Say if you are interested in web development, try finding what is the latest framework available, what is the framework which is used in the market, where is industry headed towards. Just try finding out and then get started. So it's all in your hands. I have seen students also coming up complaining. Say in the interviews, they ask you on a particular technology. Say they ask you on Docker. Docker is one of the amazing thing. So they say they ask you on Docker, and I have literally seen students answering, "Sorry, ma'am, this was not included as a part of the syllabus." Would that matter? Would that matter to an interviewer? When you say it was not part of your syllabus, it's not going to matter to them. So I've seen students complaining also that it was not part of the syllabus. But at the same time, what question I have for you guys is, I mean, if you have that kind of a mindset that it's not part of the syllabus, at the same time, nobody's stopping you to learn something outside. Nobody's stopping you to learn something by yourself, right? So please do not depend on the syllabus alone. I've seen a lot of students coming up with these uh, statements. It was not part of the syllabus. So syllabus is good. It might get outdated sometimes, so, which is absolutely good. I mean, which is absolutely fine. But then nobody's stopping you to learn anything by yourself, right? So yes. Now, few of the niche skill options that I have over here, which you guys can follow. But yes, the list goes on. I can give you another 10 or 20 also. AI, machine learning, data science, blockchain, data engineering, visualization, high performance computing, basically distributed computing. Somebody was talking about that. Quantum computing for that matter, and then automations and robotics. These are few of the suggestions that I have. And guys, let me stress on this fifth point, which is automation. I am from an automation background. My core job is to automate things. One second, am I getting new messages not coming up? Okay. So my core role is automation. I have to automate things. And trust me, automation is one of those industries which will eventually take up jobs. It will happen somehow. That's gonna happen. You cannot avoid that. It's gonna happen somehow. Okay. This brings me to one more topic, which is shelf life. What is a shelf life? If you just read that, it's a length of time that a commodity may be stored without becoming unfit for use, consumption, or a sale. This holds good for a fruit, for anything which is eatable. But the same terminology, which is shelf life, is used for a tech skill also. Basically, question I'm coming to is, what is the shelf life? Basically, if you learn a skill, how many years can you survive in the industry with that particular skill? I'll give you a simple fact. See, 20 years back, if somebody knew one skill, they could have survived for 30 years in the industry. That was the shelf life of a tech skill. Can you guys quickly guess what is the shelf life of a tech skill right now, like today, in today's world? What is the shelf life of a tech skill? You learn any new skill, for how many years can you survive in the industry? Very good answer, Rujul Jadhav. 5 years. 5 years is what you can actually survive in the industry, because industry nowadays, machine learning, AI are trending right now. 5 years down the lane, they might not be trending. Blockchain is trending right now. 5 years down the lane, it may or may not be trending. Okay, at the same time, say one language, Python. I am working with Python for almost 6, 7 years right now. Python is trending right now. Maybe 5 years down the line, Python's not going to be a language. I mean, see Julia, which a lot of people who are stepping into the field of artificial intelligence and machine learning, they are switching to Julia. Maybe 5 years down the line, Julia will have the market, or any framework for that matter, anything for that matter. Industry will keep changing. And one of the mindset that I did not have when I was in college, and I still regret, I should have had that kind of a mindset in college, is something that I'm going to be talking about. Which brings me to this particular topic, which is what is career? Tell me in your own words, what do you think is career, guys? What do you think is career? You can copy paste definition from Google, it's absolutely fine, but in your own words also, what do you think is career? I will tell you what I uh, have in my mind for career, but I would like to understand from you guys first. What is career? No answer for that. Okay, how many people do we have in the class today? 60 plus. Okay. An occupation undertaken for a significant period of a person's life and with opportunities for progress. Something you're good at and makes you money. That's a good answer, Derek. A person's progress, career is passion in life. Okay. Okay, if somebody's asking me what is career, maybe I will say, that's something that you do for the rest of your life. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, whatever you guys are saying is also correct. So, in simple terms, that's the career. Now, if you're doing something, say, for a couple of years, for the rest of your life, I know a lot of students will argue over here, we are not going to do it for the rest of life, we are going to retire at 40, 45, whatever it is. Let's assume the worst scenario. Let's say you have to work for the rest of your life. Say in that case, mindset is very important. Now, we were just discussing about shelf life, right? A tech skill. Say you guys, I'm addressing students from a hackathon. So I believe you guys are technical and you guys want to get into the tech field. I'm assuming that, and I'm pretty sure about that. So in as you just spoke, a tech skill, the shelf life of a tech skill is 5 years. So if you have a career which you'll be doing for the rest of your life, the kind of mindset that you need to have is every time you learn something, it's not going to last more than 5 years or maybe 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, whatever it is. But you will have to constantly keep learning in your career. The mindset that I want you guys to have is something like this. What is this, guys? If you guys are aware of it, what is this? Something written in Japanese, but then something very famous. I'm sure some of you might be aware of it. Getting work as our interests, which gave happiness and money also. Okay, that was one of the answer. Okay, what is this, guys? I know none of us know how to read Japanese, but this is something famous. That's why I'm asking you. Okay, okay, let me tell it to you. So this is nothing but Kaizen. This is Kai and this is Zen. Kai means change, and Zen means good. Basically, change for good. Change for good, or it says continuous improvement. As Niran is also pointing out, it means improvement, continuous improvement. This should be your mantra for life. Once you are in your college, try to get the mindset right now that you will have to study for the rest of your life. Trust me, I, who's in the industry from almost 3.5, 4 years now, I study more than what I used to study in my college. Yes, I mean I'm literally not lying over here. I study more right now. Is this that I don't have to give exams right now, but then I have to study a lot because it's a usual tendency. I want to grow in my career. I want to grow vertically and horizontally at the same time. So one simple thing that I can do is I can study new technologies, new frameworks. There's so many things that I can study, and I keep doing that. Try to have this kind of a mindset right from your college. Continuous improvement. Studying should never stop. Studies should never stop. Okay, so this is something that was told to me in my very first company by HR, one of the HR. I did not take it seriously back then, but I know the importance of it right now. You need to know how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. As I told you, the shelf life is just 5 years. Please try to have this kind of a mindset. You need to know how to unlearn. I've seen a lot of students arguing. Say if there are people who are working with web applications on PHP, no matter how hard you try convincing them to change the framework, to change the technology, they are not ready. They are not ready to unlearn and relearn another framework. They are not ready for that. I've seen students like that. I've seen working professionals like that. They are not ready to unlearn and relearn. This will not take you to places. Okay, so please have the mindset right from your college. You should always be open to learn whatever comes in your way. Okay, so this is something that I want to talk about: learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay, which brings me to what you have to focus on for your career development as a college student. As somebody who's say in your third year, fourth year, first, second year, whatever it is, what do you have to focus on? Try taking up freelancing work, because that will give you deadlines, that will give you the importance of money at the same time. That will, it'll teach you a lot of things, because you'll be working on an actual project. Just few days back, I was in a call for a different organization, one of my friends' organization. So there was this guy who was talking, was asking a lot of questions, and I was listening to that voice for the very first time. And later I got introduced to that person. So this guy is a logo designer. Okay, he's a logo designer. We know logo designers, right? So he designs logos. And uh, this guy has clients from European market. He has clients from Asian market. There's so many people approaching him for a logo designing. He is in his 10th standard. I had a call with him just few days back just to see how did I get started on that. He's taking up freelancing work from his school. He's in 10th standard right now. Okay, that was amazing for me. So when you are in college, try taking freelancing work, guys. Okay, at the same time, please make sure you do not disturb your studies. You do not disturb just because of that freelancing work doesn't mean you can spoil your grades. I'm not encouraging that. But whenever you are free, try to have that kind of a schedule where you can do some sort of freelancing work. Okay, anything. Say you're good with web technologies, build a web application for a client. See if you're good with machine learning skills, try modeling something for a client. Okay, second thing is internships. Try, having internships on your resumes and try actually learning something out of the. I've seen a lot of internships happening these days where you just get the certificate of the internship. You don't get to learn anything. Don't go for those internships. Try going for internships where you can actually learn. Participate. I'm really happy to see these number of students attending a hackathon. I still regret I used to hardly attend hackathons when I was in college. I went to a couple of them. I lost there. So yes, hackathons and all these things are very important, guys. You won't know the importance of it right now, maybe not as much, but then these things will play a very vital role. You will learn a couple of things indirectly, team collaboration. How do you collaborate? How do you work in a team? There's so many things that you will learn out of these things. So try participating as much as possible. It's 100% fine if you lose. 100% fine. But it's not fine when you're not even participating. So try participating. Find a ideal mentor. Finding a mentor again. There's a student of mine. I'm not really sure if I should be sharing this, but yes, in fact, you're the first guys I'm sharing it to. So there's this student of mine from New Jersey, probably double my age. He's in his late 40s maybe. He's the director of one of the biggest hospitals, second biggest hospital from New Jersey. This guy, I was teaching him last year, 2019. He's an Indian. He's in US from past 15 years. And he tells it to me. He's very humble. He's very humble. He tells it to me on WhatsApp saying, the next time I come to India, I want to visit my guru. And I'm like, he's from Punjab basically. So I said, which part of Punjab is your guru staying in? And he says, no, 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 you are my guru. You are my mentor. It actually touched me. And I was so happy listening to that. You know, it gives me that happiness if I can inspire someone, if I can mentor someone. You know, so mentor is someone who can literally cut down your learning time by half. Say if you want to learn something in 1 year, if you have a mentor, you can cut it down to say 3 months or maybe 4 months, 6 months, whatever it is. A mentor can literally cut down your learning time by half. Try finding yourself a mentor, which is very, very, very important. Okay, and people love to mentor other people also at the same time. Try finding the ideal mentor. Okay, and yes, make mistakes, learn from them, try making mistakes. You are in college, you have to make mistakes. I would encourage that. Try making mistakes and learn from them. Don't just try making mistake and just go away with it. Try making mistake and learn from them. Okay, so there's learning from every mistake that comes in. I did not know the importance of all these things, guys. Trust me, when I was in college, I was not aware of these things. Now since I'm in the industry already, I regret a lot of things. I regret a lot of things I should have had done while I was in college. So these couple of things I've learned the hard way. I just want to share my experience with you guys. Okay, so yes, takeaways. I think I'm gonna finish exactly in 45 minutes. So yeah, takeaways. What I want you guys to take away from these things is take every single opportunity that comes in your way to go in front of people and talk and present. Do not hesitate. It's absolutely okay when if you're hesitating, but then please try going on stage and talking and presenting. Very, very important. It's good to be technically sound. It's good to have excellent coding skills, excellent programming skill. All of that is really good. At the same time, if you cannot present well, if you cannot talk well, it's gonna take you backward. So if you have already learned the hard skills, the technical skills, why not try improving on presentation skills? Very important. Second thing, focus on your niche. Try finding what can you specialize in. College is the right time for that. Trust me, college is the right time to start building your specialization. Okay? Be a jack of all trades and master of one. Try knowing a little of everything, but master one technology, one framework, one specialization, whatever it is, something that nobody will try to dare to come in your boundary, something that you can do better than anybody else. Try finding out that and try mastering it. At the same time, be a jack of all trades. Try understanding part of everything, little bit of everything, very important. And remember, Kaizen is the key, is the mantra for life. You will have to continuously improve. You will have to continuously study. You will have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I've learned it the hard way. I want you guys to understand this right now. Have a mindset of Kaizen right now while you are in college. Okay? So yes, that was my session. That was when I was when I was invited for this particular hackathon. Initially, I thought, let me come up with some technical topic. Let me give a topic on say neural networks or any other framework, anything for that matter, anything technical. But then I thought I'll be addressing a lot of college students. Let me try to address those issues which people do not usually tend to talk about. So that is when this is something which I did for the very first time, and I felt this was very important for a college student. Okay, so yes, this was from my side, guys. Any question that you wanna ask me? It could be on whatever we have discussed. It could be on anything else, on your own career, whatever it is. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer you guys. Mm, 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 mm. Do we have coordinators?
Yes, Aqib.
Okay. Let's just see for a few seconds if you have any questions coming up. How many people do I have in the session today? 10 presenters, 55 attendees. Okay, excellent. I don't know if people are typing in questions or people are not typing in questions, whatever it is. I'll just wait for another few seconds. Okay, I think, okay, what if we want to contact later? Okay, in that case, I have a LinkedIn ID. I just want to share it with you guys. Guys, that's my LinkedIn ID. Even if you have questions later that you want to contact me for, just, just, I mean, that's my LinkedIn ID. Okay. So yes, I think we are done for the day. Exactly 45 minutes. I'm happy if whenever I tend to finish a presentation on time, that gives me happiness. So yes, guys, thank you so much. I mean, you guys are in a hackathon. So there's something that I never used to do. I hardly used to do when I was in college. And I still regret that. Why did I not participate as much? So all the best for whatever you have in this hackathon. Try utilizing this opportunity to its fullest, and all the best for your careers, all the best for your exams and everything, all the best for your life. So yes, if you have any questions, anything that you want to ask me later, that's my LinkedIn ID. We can always get in touch. Okay, chalo, thank you so much. Thank you, Chirag. Thank you,
Thank you,
Karthik.
Aqib.
Sorry, I mean there's some sort of distortion in the network, I believe. Yes, Diksha.
I think there are a few questions in the chat box. Um,
Do we have questions? I mean, I cannot see any questions. I just saw one question, which is what if we want to contact later? That was the last thing that's on my chat. Do you have any question that I'm not getting? I'm not sure.
Can you just copy paste the questions on board? Yeah.
we've got one.
Yeah, we got one question now.
In a couple of months, I think a couple of you have already faced interviews, final year students and all of that. Try to be modest. When I say modest, do not show off your skill. At the same time, do not shy away from, showing off your skill. What am I trying to tell you is, whatever you actually know, put that on your resume. And please make use of LinkedIn. It's a very good platform for you guys to show your skill set in a very good way. Okay, LinkedIn is a very good platform, and on your resume, as I told you, try mentioning whatever you actually know. Please do not put whatever just comes to mind. I've seen people doing that. 32 technologies on a resume. That don't do that. So yeah, LinkedIn is a very good platform to show your skill set in a better way and on resume. And guys, one more thing that I've seen people doing is when you come up with a resume, don't just have that black and white one typical resume. It looks like 1947 resume. Don't do that. There are good sites available, like Canva is one. There's so many sites available. Try coming up with a resume which is used in 2020. It's like you put a picture somewhere. That kind of a resume. As soon as you look at the resume, you get that thing. So try doing that. Okay. So do you have any other question? We learned a lot. Thank you. Okay. My learning process is slow. Is there any way that can help me speed up? Apart from what you taught about having a mentor. Okay. Apart from that, how can you actually speed up? Everyone has their own way. You need to identify your own way. Trust me. I have my own way of learning anything. Until and unless I don't teach anyone, I don't learn it. That is my way. So everyone has its own way, so there's no generic way that everyone can follow blindly. In fact, another way that I usually tend to follow is, until and unless I don't have a deadline, I don't learn that. To be very honest, machine learning is something that I have postponed for 1.5 years because I did not have a deadline. Once I got the project of a machine learning, that is when I actually started studying. Even though I knew machine learning was important for my career, machine learning is something that I'll be interested in. Just because I did not have a deadline, I was just taking it very casually. I've postponed that for 1.5 years and said, whoever asked that question, try having a deadline. I mean, this works for me. I'm not sure if it'll work for you. So everyone has their own way. For me, deadline works, having a deadline. And if you can teach someone, that works for me. So see if that can work for you, or you need to identify that by yourself, because everyone has their own way of learning. Okay, I've got one more question. Okay, I've answered that already. What is the difference between strengths and our niche? Your strengths need not be niche. And one more thing I would like to tell over here is it necessary for a college graduate to have a niche skill? No. Is it good to have a niche skill? Is it good to have, I mean, is it good for a college student to have a niche? Absolutely. It's not necessary, but it's going to be very good if you have it. So it's going to give you that edge over other people. Okay, so what's the difference between strengths and niche? Niche is your specialization. Whatever niche you have, that's going to be your strength. But all your other strengths need not be niche. So say if you are into web development, agentic, say you know Java, all those will be your strengths, but those are not going to be your niche. Niche is something that you will specialize in, and that will eventually become your strength also at the same time. So I hope I've answered your question. If not, maybe you can just ask it to me again. Okay. So yes, if we do not have any other question, maybe we can end this. Uh, Chirag, Diksha, do
Yeah,
we have any other question? No?
no.
I don't
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
chalo.
you,
Thank you so
Aqib.
much.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah, thank
Aqib.
you so much for
So,
getting me into this hackathon. I was, it was of a great pleasure.
yeah,
Okay. So
thank you
yeah,
for showing presentational skills, and like we'll adopt those skills whatever you have taught in this session.
uh, thank you for that. Thank you everyone. Thank you, and all the best for hackathons, for everything. Okay, please take care of yourself. We are going through a very bad phase, pandemic. All of us know. Please keep in touch with your friends, family. Keep checking on them. So yes, this phase will pass. Okay, chalo. Thank you so much. I'll take a leave right now. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Aqib. Take care.
Thank you, Aqib. Hey guys, so we shall have a long break before we resume our event. So our next event is scheduled at 4 p.m. Hope to see you all with the same level of enthusiasm then. So please join back by 3:50.